Hello again. Tonight we'll spend a calm hour with a beaver at its pond, where water slows and wood becomes architecture. This is a real night, told gently, with true behaviors and soft ambience. If your eyes grow heavy, let the story keep building while you rest. Dusk draws a copper line across the pond. Inside the lodge, the air is warm and woody. A family rests on a dry platform made from sticks and packed mud, raised above the waterline. Our beaver wakes, noses the air, and slips into the entrance tunnel. Beaver ears and nostrils can close underwater, and a clear nictitating membrane slides over the eyes like gentle goggles. The body glides out into the pond, buoyant with a dense coat and a layer of insulating fat. Hind feet are broad and webbed, made for power. The tail is a paddle and a rudder, and also a storehouse of fat for lean months. Evening is the beginning of the workday. First comes inspection. The beaver traces the dam's curved back, where sticks and mud meet the current. Water speaks in pressure. A small leak hisses through a low seam. The beaver sinks, gathers a mouthful of mud, and pats it into place with quick strokes of the forepaws. A new twig is woven across the gap, locked at an angle, then sealed again with mud. Beaver incisors never stop growing. The enamel is iron-rich and orange, harder on the front than the back, so each bite sharpens the edge. With teeth and paws, the seam becomes quiet. The pond rises by a breath, and the side channels take note. High water means safe water because it hides the family's entrances and slows predators. The beaver surfaces to listen. A night heron calls. Somewhere upstream, a deer steps through reeds. Satisfied, the beaver moves toward the bank where willow and aspen lean. Foraging is choosing. The beaver studies trunks by scent and by taste, preferring species with sweet cambium, willow, aspen, poplar. A small sapling is tested. The beaver sets its front teeth low, braces with forepaws and begins to chew. Bite, turn, bite again, cutting a beveled notch. Wood fibers pop like soft strings. The sapling leans, whispers through other leaves, and settles down with a quiet sigh. Limbs are trimmed into manageable lengths. Short pieces will become dam material. Longer, thinner branches are saved as food because bark and cambium hold the calories of growth. The beaver carries a branch under the chin, gripping it against the chest with clever forepaws. Back to the water. Float. Tow. The tail steers like a slow, steady hand. At the dam, the beaver tucks the thicker stick into the downstream face, crossing it with others to braid strength. Mud seals the weave, turning open basket into solid wall. Each addition changes the pond's arithmetic. Depths shift, eddies move, and shallow shelves become quiet nurseries for insects and fish. Now the pantry. Beavers cache winter food underwater near the lodge, anchoring branches so ice will not lock dinner out of reach. Even when nights are warm, the habit continues in small rehearsals. Our beaver ferries willow shoots to the cache site and wedges them under old poles. A quick dive sets the bundle, then a surface breath resumes the rhythm. Work, breathe, glide, repeat. Farther along the bank, a canal gleams like a dark ribbon. Beavers dig canals to float heavy wood home, turning land routes into water roads. In the canal's stillness, a long branch becomes light as a reed. The beaver tows it easily, saving time and energy for the colony. Back near the lodge, another beaver meets our traveler. They touch whiskers and trade small sounds, soft grunts and murmurs that keep the team in step. A younger beaver practices carrying a twig, dropping it, picking it up again, learning the choreography that turns sticks into shelter. Territory needs a signature. On a low hummock, the beaver builds a scent mound, a mix of mud and plant bits. From glands near the tail, a musky castoreum is dabbed onto the mound. To other beavers, this says the pond is spoken for, the dam is tended, and the family is present. Scent marks reduce fights the way signs reduce wrong turns. A sudden splash cuts the quiet. Our beaver lifts upright and pauses. When danger is clear, the tail can slap the water, an explosive alarm that sends the colony diving for cover. Tonight, the splash is only a carp taking air. The tail stays calm. Work resumes, unhurried and precise. Between tasks comes grooming. Beavers comb their fur with a special split nail on the second toe, spreading waterproof oils from skin glands. Water beads and rolls away, and the coat keeps warmth locked close. A well-kept coat is a dry lodge the animal wears everywhere. Midnight cools the air. Mist gathers over the pond and drifts like slow breath. Our beaver makes another cutting trip, this time for aspen. At the trunk, tooth marks form a neat double chisel pattern. The tree is small enough to fell safely, and the beaver works around it, always aware of the lean. When wood speaks with a hollow crack, the animal steps aside. The tree lays down without drama, crown catching in a sister's branches. Pieces are measured by mouth and arm and habit. Thick ends for structure, slender ends for food. The canal receives its cargo, and the pond receives another quiet procession of floating wood. At the dam, minor repairs have become improvement. A new layer rises a few fingers higher than before. The outflow narrows and the upstream pool deepens by the depth of a hand. Frogs find the new shelf immediately, and a dragonfly uses it to rest. When beavers adjust water, other lives move in. The family regroups at mid-pond. Soft noses greet. A kit rides briefly on an adult's back, then slips off and paddles in a small, determined circle. Practice makes lungs and muscles ready for winter, when travel may mean under-ice routes between lodge and cache. The kit dives and rises, surprised to be so perfectly buoyant. An adult guides with a gentle shoulder nudge. Near the lodge, bubbles tremble along the surface where an underwater entrance breeze. The tunnel stays hidden from land predators, and the platform inside stays dry even when the pond rides high. Vent holes in the lodge roof let warm air out and fresh air in. A quiet chimney above a wooden heart. For a while, the colony simply floats together. You can hear chewing and the hush of fur against water. You can feel the pond's patience, a long muscle holding the night in place. Toward the last hours of night, the beaver makes a small patrol. Scent mounds are refreshed. A fallen stick is cleared from the spillway. The dam's crown is tamped again, and a narrow seep is sealed. Maintenance is a lullaby the pond understands. Each touch tells water where to linger and where to go. A raccoon passes along the bank and pauses to watch. Eyes meet. Nothing to solve. Both return to their maps. Clouds thin. A very pale road of light appears behind the trees. Bird song stitches the edges of silence. Our beaver carries one last willow switch to the cache and tucks it in tight. Work closes like a book whose page is marked with wet leaves. Pre-dawn is for grooming and rest. On a low log, the beaver lifts one hind foot and combs the coat with that special split claw. Water beads. Fur lies smooth. Teeth meet twig for a few slow chews that restore the edges to bright sharpness. Then the body glides to the lodge entrance and slips under. Inside, the platform is dry and sweet with the smell of peeled sticks. Family settles shoulder to shoulder, heartbeat to heartbeat. Breathing becomes small and even. Outside, the pond keeps its promise and holds the world quiet. If you are still with us, let your breath match the pond, slow, deep, and steady. If you have drifted, the dam will keep watch. Thank you for spending the night with a beaver. Rest well. When evening returns, the water will rise a little higher and the work will begin again.